I've worked downtown for 13 years and I've never had a problem.
Is the neighborhood where you live or work safe? Good evening, and thank you for joining us. Several crime stats have been released by Fargo police, highlighting the increase of crimes in 2015.
Valley News Team's Cornelius Hawker spoke with Fargo's police chief Dave Todd tonight to see what their plans are to keep up with the growing crime, making sure you and your family feel safe no matter where you live.
Recent crime stats released by the Fargo police show 2015 was a busy year.
For 2015, the city did give me more police officers. In fact, we added a total of 14 police officers in 2015.
Cops took 214 calls each day of last year, an increase of almost 9,000 calls from 2014. Though those numbers seem daunting, some people who live and work in downtown Fargo, an area that sees its fair share of criminal activity, tell us those numbers shouldn't deter people from coming downtown.
I've worked downtown for 13 years and I've never had a problem.
Crystal Niclay works at one of the many businesses that stay open late in downtown Fargo.
We don't have any issues at night. We just started staying open till night in June, and we were kind of worried at first, but it's been great. We haven't had any problems.
However, that's not the case for some people who live in downtown. They came out to a community meeting held by the Fargo police to see what actions were going to be taken to tackle issues they see in their community.
We are increasing our staffing. We still have vacancies to fill. Later on this year, I will prepare a budget proposal for 2017 where I will again ask for additional staffing in order to grow with the city as it grows.
Fargo Mayor Mahoney was there as well. He suggested people help out the cops by keeping an eye out for and reporting suspicious activity in their neighborhood. Back at Swanson Health, Niclay tries to remember the last time a big crime happened in downtown Fargo.
Honestly, the things that have happened, there's only been like 2 in my mind, and they were like in the morning, in the daylight. So I don't think there's anything to worry about.
Fargo is a relatively safe place to live, work, raise your kids. It's just my job as the chief of police, our job as the police department, to talk about public safety issues and make people aware.
Cornelius Hawker, Valley News Live.
Chief Todd did say that they have a budget for 163 people to work in the police department. Right now, they're at 152. The chief also says those vacancies will be filled shortly, with 3 people starting next Monday. New numbers released today from the Fargo Police Department shed light on crimes committed by race. We obtained a report that shows more white people were arrested than all other race categories combined. The numbers we're going to show you cover the last 6 years. Fargo police making nearly 66,000 arrests total. The majority of those arrests, more than 50,000, fall into the white category. According to census.gov, whites in Fargo make up roughly 90% of the population and therefore made up 48% of the arrests. The second highest category was black, with 7,370 arrests made from 2010 through 2015. Now that's roughly 23% of the arrests. If you want to take a closer look at this report, along with the report that details just 2015, go to our website, valleynewslive.com, and click on this story.
A Fargo business says it learned the hard way of a scam that has hit our area at least twice. MVM Contracting says they almost lost nearly $35,000 after someone stole checks from their mailbox. We first told you in August about Operation Homeless, a scam that Fargo police say targets low-income and homeless people, plus banks and businesses. The scammer would ask someone to cash a fraudulent check for them. The checks are stolen from a business and cashed at local banks. MVM Contracting says other businesses need to be aware and protect themselves.
You know, what can you do to protect yourself? I mean, there's security systems, there's camera systems, you know, that's stuff that we do and we install, and we have cameras. I guess you don't normally think about putting one on your mailbox.
A warrant has been issued for Curtis Harrington. He faces felony charges for trying to cash the stolen check from MVM Contracting. Police say the scammers have been arrested, but the scam doesn't go away. Scammers often have teams working across the country. If you need help uncovering fraud and corruption in your community, call our Whistleblower Hotline, and we'll do our best to get to the bottom of it. Call 701-237-6576 and leave your tip. A member of our investigative team will get on the case and go to work to expose the truth.
In Crookston, residents need to know about a couple of attempted burglaries last night. The police chief there, Paul Biermeyer, says they don't have any suspects at this time and reminds residents to keep their doors locked and immediately report any suspicious activity.
The Becker County Sheriff's Office is looking for the owner or driver of a Chevy Avalanche after a snowmobile theft near Osage, Minnesota. Police say the pictures of the Chevy Avalanche were taken on the same property where the snowmobile was stolen. Investigators add the 1992 Arctic Cat Cougar, black in color, was reported stolen on January 24th. The sheriff says the Chevy Avalanche right now is just a vehicle of interest in the case.
The state of Minnesota has its first confirmed case of the Zika virus. The CDC is warning the state about a returning traveler who tested positive. Now, the infected individual is an Anoka County woman in her 60s who recently returned from Honduras. There is no vaccine for the Zika virus, and the only treatment is to monitor the symptoms, much like you would the common cold. The CDC says there is no risk of a spreading infection in Minnesota currently. The Zika virus is spread through mosquitoes.
Crews were cleaning up today after a train derailed into the Mississippi River in southeastern Minnesota. The Canadian Pacific freight train went off the tracks right on the bank of the Mississippi River in Houston County. That's just a little more than an hour east of Rochester. No one was hurt, but officials say 6 cars that were carrying soybean oil were found in the river.
Bison Nation, well, we know all too well about Carson Wentz being a pretty good quarterback. In fact, a great quarterback. The former Bison is practicing with a different team these days and will play this weekend in the Senior Bowl. Valley News Team's Giovanna Simic caught up with the Wentz mania that's going around.
Just about everybody around here knows who Carson Wentz is. And now, the whole nation is getting to know more about the QB.
They talked about him going in the first round. They had I saw a little bit of blip on him today. I guess I heard that 16 of the professional football teams have talked to him. I'd like him to go to Green Bay.
From the Browns and Eagles to the Cowboys, teams have taken notice of Wentz's talent.
I think it's well-deserved, of course. Incredibly well-deserved. I mean, incredible numbers, unheard of. His resume is fantastic, and I'm sure his future will be the same. I just think he's going to do very well, as everybody who comes into my store, of course, thinks that and wants that.
Nick Heinley, who owns Big Nick's Card Shop, says there's not a day that goes by without a customer talking about Wentz's NFL future.
Everybody's got a different take, a different story, a different place in the draft where he's going to go. I've heard as low as number 4 in the first round to late in the first round, early in the second round. That's the worst, is early in the second round.
Wentz, who is a Bismarck native, is getting a lot of attention about where he'll go in the draft, which is still 3 months away. We know this. Ask anyone who's part of Bison Nation, and they'll tell you Carson Wentz is number 1. In Fargo, Giovanna Simic, Valley News Live.
And stick around, Alex Egan will have more on Carson Wentz getting ready for the Senior Bowl. That's coming up later in sports.